Bam!
Jayson Waller here with the True Underdog Podcast, and this is the Own Your Power series. That's right. I'm going to be reading part of my book during this series. There's going to be several weeks that we're finishing this out on the Own Your Power. No excuses, no bullshit. Your time is now. This is a Wall Street Journal, Amazon, and USA Today top seller. I appreciate and love each and every one of you that have downloaded the book or bought the book. You can check out and find the book at oypbook.com. That's oypbook.com. And that stands for Own Your Power. So oypbook.com. Check it out if you want to hear more. I hope you enjoy the reading of this book because I want to know, what is your underdog story? You're going to hear mine. Get excited about it. Give feedback. Make sure you give a like. Bam! Chapter 8, Principle number 8, Focus on the play-by-play. My dad and I didn't have the best relationship when I was younger. He was tough on me as a kid. But my fondest memories of time with my dad centered around our favorite football team, the Detroit Lions. My dad is from Michigan. My mom is from North Carolina. The only sports I was ever allowed to watch were teams from Detroit, though I grew up in Arizona and North Carolina. We watched the Bad Boys, Detroit Pistons in basketball, and the Red Wings in hockey, who were horrible at the time and didn't get any traction till the 90s. And so, of course, for football, it was the Lions, who sucked until '89. That is when Barry Sanders was drafted. Every Sunday, my pops and I would go to the bar around the corner from our house to watch the Lions play. These were the days of the satellite dish. We couldn't afford to bolt one onto our roof in our home in Arizona. And forget the subscription fee for the football package, too. There was just no money for that. So my dad and I would meet his buddy, another Lion fanatic, at a crappy little pub with an aging bar lined with swivel bar stools, which were a highlight for a kid. They knocked back beers, and I drank my soda as we watched the Lions play. The bar also laid out salty peanuts in their shells in the community bowls. We cracked them, ate the nuts, and threw the shells on the floor. I became a hardcore Barry Sanders fan from the moment I watched his first game against the Arizona Cardinals in 1989, when he ran for about 71 yards. Here he goes. Whoa, look at him go. He's still going. We screamed at the screen. Watching the Lions was a tradition even after we moved to North Carolina. Eventually, we did get a satellite dish on the side of our trailer, complete with a DirecTV package so we can watch the games every Sunday. Some years later, after saving hard, we drove up to Michigan around Thanksgiving to watch the games in person at the stadium. Since Barry Sanders joined the team in 1989, I have either watched every Lions game on TV or attended the game in person. I have skipped funerals, I've missed birthday parties, I've rearranged picnics, holiday gatherings to make sure I see every single Lions game. I even have a Lions tattoo. I'm not kidding. You know those assholes who paint themselves up at games and yell and scream like idiots? That's me and my friends. A clip of us was used in a commercial that ran for years with our faces all painted up in blue. ESPN posted a video of us on its website back in 2010. And in the back of my mind, I was always thought it would be cool to meet Barry. After building 3 successful businesses and grinding through 25 different jobs, sweating it out on my roller coaster of life, I reached a pivotal point. In 2018, just before I turned 39, Power Home Solar signed a deal to install solar for the Detroit Lions. The day Kevin and I signed the deal, we called my dad. It was Kevin's idea, so he dialed my dad's number and we put him on speaker. "We're putting solar on Ford Field," Kevin said. "No shit," my dad said. My pops is a very quiet man. He's reserved. He doesn't say a lot, and he doesn't get emotional. But I knew he was proud that day. We're finally making it big. Remember, each moment adds to the next. Each step leads to where you want to go. I was taking the stairs. I had big aspirations for the company, but I was always focused on the play-by-play. Small steps to big dreams. As is tradition in my family, my son has become a huge Lions fan and a fan of punter Sam Martin in particular, who now plays for the Broncos. After the solar deal with the Detroit Lions, I also cut a deal with Sam to shoot a commercial with us on Ford Field. Imagine this. I'm in the stadium that is the home to my favorite football team, putting my business product on their roof, and filming a commercial on the field with one of the players both my son and I love. Sam also brought in Matt Prater, the Lions kicker at the time, so we could meet him too. Both players have since become close friends of ours. After shooting the commercial that day, Power Home Solar continued to grow, and I eventually moved my family to Michigan. In 2018, I sat with Kevin in my office spitballing some ideas. What if we could get Barry Sanders in one of our commercials? It was a blue sky idea, a someday brain fart that we enjoyed dreaming up. We'd done commercials with the Lions, the Browns, and the Panthers. I met a few players here and there, and I'd become friends with Matt and Sam. I met a few more of Lions players too, and because of all the work Power Home Solar was doing, we made an impact in the community of Detroit, Michigan. So one night, I was invited to Rod Wood's home. Today, he's the Lions president. Back then, when he was vice president for the team, I was a season ticket holder and a sponsor, and Barry Sanders was there. I was chatting with a group of other party people when I saw Barry out of the corner of my eye. Some advice. You can't act like a fan when you see someone famous because that's what everybody does. You must be different. So I walked around the party with some swagger and confidence, like everyone should be a fan of me. I was not arrogant or cocky, and you shouldn't be either. You want to be warm, but also kind of intriguing and mysterious. Big dreams are important, but if you get too caught up in the future, you can easily get off track. It can become overwhelming. Focus on the play-by-play. Goal set no more than 6 months out. Achieve small milestones toward the goal. Then one day, you'll be there, living your dream life, and it's better than you've ever imagined. While fanboys might ask for a selfie, I avoid that lame behavior. I walked up and introduced myself, Jayson Waller, Power Home Solar. I had no agenda. I didn't want his picture or autograph. I was glad Barry was there, and it was great to meet him, but it wasn't a big deal, right? Barry and I had a nice exchange that night. I told him a story about how I almost died on a plane once. It sounds horrible, but it's funny when I act it out. After that night, his agent called me, and he became an influencer for our brand. In the process, we became good friends. At Christmas, I invited him to our holiday party. My dad came too. That night, I sat across from them both, and I watched my pops eat dinner with Barry Sanders. My dad is perhaps one of the biggest Barry Sanders fans of all time, second only to me. This was a wow moment for me, and we're still just taking the stairs. Soon after that, Barry and I did a commercial together. The morning of the shoot, it hit me how cool it was to be doing this blue sky project. As I sat at the edge of the bed thinking about the day ahead, Liz smiled at me and said, "You know you're getting ready to do a commercial with your favorite player of all time, right?" I tried to play it cool with Liz, though she knows me better than that. When I got in the shower, it hit me. Holy shit! After all this hard work grinding it for a couple of decades, with all the highs and lows, all the frickin' haters, I was doing a commercial with Barry. I drove a Ferrari to the commercial shoot that day. Barry and I crushed it in front of the camera. It was epic. I've watched him play since I was 10. He was an icon and my football hero. Today, Barry and I are friends. Our kids talk and hang out. He's been on my podcast, and I give him business advice. Then there's Matt Prater, who is now one of my closest friends. All the little actions added up in a wild way where I achieved a dream so cool that I never thought it was possible, not even 5 years ago. It amazes me what dreams can be achieved when you focus on the play-by-play. I didn't set out in business thinking, one day I'll be a billionaire and I'll become friends with Barry Sanders and other NFLers, and we'll eat burgers at my place and spend my birthday in Turks. It wasn't imaginable for me. I had small goals. I wanted to open an office. I want to grow it and add sales reps a few at a time. I kept setting those kinds of small goals. If you stay in the moment, focus on small wins, you will continue to get closer to your big dream goals. Too many people put way too much pressure on themselves by aiming way too high. Then it freaks them out and becomes unattainable. Massive goals are great for motivation, but you've got to chunk it down. Stay the course and focus on the small milestones. incremental progress is the way. Who's your berry? Maybe one day you'll sit with them. Just make sure you're taking the stairs to get there. Get your head out of the clouds. Too many people get overly focused on their massive dreams, and then they stop themselves from living the dream life they desperately want. They psych themselves out. They start believing there's too much disparity between where they are and where they want to get to. They tell themselves it's not possible, or they start thinking it's too big and they should get more practical. Some people realize where they want to go is too far from where they are now, and they feel like crap. They relate to dreams as ideas that are mostly unattainable. It's hard to get inspired and get into action if you've psyched yourself out. If you don't consider how to get to those big dreams, which can include owning your highly successful company, if you can't see the next steps to take, the dream may stay in your head forever. It becomes a someday goal, and then that someday may never come. Too many people die with dreams in their heads because they don't get practical about the actions they need to take to get there. That means you need to set two kinds of goals: big dream goals and small winnable goals. When you need to feel inspired and motivated, think about the big dream goal. When you need to focus on the next action and move toward the dream, focus on the little targets you need to hit the next day, week, or month. Power Home Solar has developed partnerships with 5 professional NFL franchises: the Panthers, the Browns, the Lions, the Colts, and the Steelers. 1 professional baseball franchise, the Cleveland Indians, and 1 university, NC State, to help reduce energy consumption and promote the use of solar energy. Right now, if I say that Power Home Solar is going to be public and worth $50 billion, that's a damn dream goal. We probably will go public soon. It's exciting, but to get there, I need to focus on the moment. Next year, we might be a $2 billion company, but only if I focus on the next 3 months, and then the next 3 after that. This chunking strategy helps me stay in the moment, stay inspired, and stay in action. Set goals today, this week, this month. Set them even for the next 3 months or the next 6 months, but stop there. Stay focused using small blocks of time. When you focus on small winnable goals on the way to the big one, you maintain control. Small goals have a domino effect. A bunch of those wins will achieve your big dream objective. And then when you accomplish that, you can set a new dream goal and find the winnable goals along the way. Keep moving the blocks and letting the dominoes fall, and the dream will eventually be realized. If you get frustrated, feel defeated, or get pissed about your progress, think about the big dream goal again. It will help you stay focused and grounded. Anytime you have an idea where you think, holy shit, that's next level, use that potent dream to get inspired. If you only think about your situation now, you aren't aiming for anything. You're not making your map because you have no destination to navigate toward. At the same time, if all you have is a destination that's far away, your drive isn't going to be fun. You might feel hopeless about ever getting there too. Oscillating between the 2 types of goals is the key to staying grounded, motivated, and in action. Reverse engineering. The best way to break down what it takes to achieve a big dream goal is to reverse engineer it. Think of what you want. Get excited about it. And then consider where you are today. In 3 months, and no more than 6 months, where would you like to be? Let's say you want to lose 50 pounds. You might think about what you'll look like, what you'll do, and how you'll feel. A big dream should fire you up. But then you must think about where you are at. You aren't going to lose all that weight in 1 day, 1 week, or even a month. It's not healthy. So you break those 50 pounds down into small goals and it's more attainable. The first goal is 2 pounds. It's the same for the following week. By the end of the month, you'll have lost 8 pounds. That's exciting. It's not complicated, but you do have to remind yourself to stay in your now block. You must push away any noise in your head or negative self-talk and just look at the next 3 months. Focus on small targets that are easy to achieve, and you'll build confidence and momentum as you achieve each small goal. Maybe you start with a trainer who designs one type of weight routine, and once you lose 20 pounds, you reassess. By focusing on small targets, you can adapt your strategy as you go to achieve better results. We live in a digitally connected world that has trained us to seek immediate gratification more than ever. Anyone who wants to watch another episode of their favorite binge-worthy show on Netflix can do that. If I need to find out what the hell an acronym EBITDA means, I can Google it for a fast answer. When my business partner needs to get me a message, he just sends me a text. No more answering machines, instant information, instant gratification. Small win goals help you feed your need for immediate gratification, and it keeps you motivated and on track. My son Christian wants to be an NFL player. I encourage him to play big, and he does. Dude, I love that you have that goal and that dream, I said to him. But I've also told him to keep it real or it won't happen. So we break it down. Focus on starting right now in 4th grade. Then focus on getting on a travel team next summer. Then we focus how he's doing in middle school. If we stay in the moment and continue to focus on incremental progress, and he still wants this dream, the small wins will build confidence and skill. All the momentum could lead to going pro. If he focuses too much on going pro, he could easily psych himself out and miss what he needs to do. He could forget to enjoy the process. The small wins get us there as long as we have a big dream we're building toward. What's your BAM? The night I accepted the 2019 Ernst & Young Emerging Entrepreneur of the Year award, I stood on stage looking at a crowd of designer tuxedos and gowns. I ended my speech with this. At Power Home Solar, we have an acronym. It's BAM. It stands for Building a Movement. And so we say we're building a movement, one home, one panel, one employee at a time. Join me, say it with me, I told the room of MBAs. The entire room erupted with BAM. I trademarked BAM acronym long before that night. BAM is on the license plate of my car. It's now on shirts and hats that we use as giveaways for podcast listeners. I live by BAM. You should too. Here's what BAM is about. It is a saying that informs a way of life and describes a quality to embrace. It helps people dream big and act big. It's also a mindset and a way to be. And anyone can use BAM to figure out what their big dream goals are. It came about because a former business partner of mine used to say boom, so much that it became a joke. People who knew him imitated him with love. We would say boom this or boom that, or I'm going to grab a coffee, boom. One day I was playing the Avengers video game with my son. I kept hitting his character. Every time I did, I said boom. But the players were making a BAM sound when they hit each other. So my son corrected me. Dad, stop saying boom. It's BAM. BAM is cooler, he said, schooling me. From that day forward, I used BAM to express when I was fired up. It could be for anything. The company decided to not use Chinese-made solar panels. We're sticking to American. BAM. The family was on vacation. We're sitting on the beach. BAM. I got a slick haircut. BAM. So I started thinking about how to use BAM as an acronym in my business. Then I came up with Build a Movement, which resonated so deeply with me and the way I want to live my life that I trademarked it. But really, BAM can stand for anything you want it to. And it doesn't only help people think about what they want to achieve, but also how they achieve their goals. BAM is a feeling. It's a way to behave. It's a quality that captures a spirit of living bold and big and leading the way. Say BAM and right away you feel good. Try it. BAM. You feel more confident now, don't you? The BAM mindset can be activated at any time. Now that I interview the most successful people in the world on my podcast, most of them are BAMers without even knowing it. They live for causes greater than themselves. They take bold actions. BAM. BAM will set your big dream goals. Remember when we talked about living for a cause greater than yourself? What's your BAM? Do you know? The great thing about Power Home Solar is that our motto is building a movement, or BAM for short. We do that one solar panel, one customer, one employee at a time. We are building a movement of clean, green energy that not only helps customers potentially save money, but also does a great thing for the planet. It's easy for our employees to understand and get behind our mission because of the amount of good we can do for customers. I'm very blessed to have a chance to lead this company. Set your big dream goals today, then reverse engineer it. Be in the moment now. Be in the next moment when it happens, and you will get there. You'll see. One day you'll be clinking a glass with your version of Barry Sanders and making a difference. You'll have the business of your dreams. That is the way to think. Bam is what life's about. Thank you so much for listening to the True Underdog Podcast Own Your Power series. Make sure you subscribe and listen next week. We'll be catching up on more of the book coming up, and you can always go to oypbook.com to get your copy of the book right now. Own Your Power. No excuses, no bullshit. Your time is now. Again, thank you to all the subscribers out there, and thank you for everyone supporting me in the book, making it at Amazon, USA Today, and a Wall Street Journal top seller. Bam! And that concludes another episode here on True Underdog. If you're interested in hearing more, make sure you subscribe at iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or the YouTube channel. You can always visit TrueUnderdog.com, subscribe to all of them. Make sure you check out our newest episodes coming out on Mondays and Thursdays. True Underdog, baby. Bam!